Hello and welcome to GFN Soul NYC FM. I'm Robert Ashley, and we thank you for being with us for another edition of The Robert Ashley Show. Now be sure to subscribe to our channel, like our channel. That way you can find out the next time we're dropping new products for you. And also, once again, that notification bell. And once again, we're just honored to have you with us. Now also, we have a radio component here at GFN Soul NYC FM, TV and radio. And it's called The Quiet Storm. Each and every night at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, our colleague Wayne G. will host some of the best in throwback soul music. But today we have a very special program for you, and it's centered around the Democratic Party. Now, many of you know that shortly we'll be going to the polls to elect a new president of the United States. Now, today we have the honor of speaking with Jaime Harrison. Now, Jaime Harrison is a very distinguished African-American attorney out of South Carolina. Now, many of you have probably heard of Congressman James Clyburn. Now, Congressman James Clyburn has been credited with being the South Carolina congressman who actually helped Joe Biden become the president of the United States. And Jaime Harrison, who is now a historical figure, being the first African-American man to chair the Democratic National Committee, and that's a major responsibility. And of course, Jaime at one time also worked for Congressman James Clyburn. Now, another interesting thing about Jaime Harrison, Jaime literally scared the H-E-double-L out of Republican Congressman Lindsey Graham when he challenged Senator Lindsey Graham for a big election several years ago. But unfortunately, Jaime did not win that race, but he is a winner in life. And once again, he's the first African-American man to chair the Democratic National Committee, and that's a major accomplishment. Now, Jaime Harris is here to talk with us about some very interesting things going on right here in Texas. Early voting, the fact that the Democratic Party has made a 5-figure investment into the state of Texas. There's also concern about the senatorial race involving incumbent Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Now, he's facing a really tough challenge from Congressman COLIN, ALLRED, who's a Democrat. And many are wondering if indeed the state of Texas will eventually become a Democratic state. Now, also, Jaime Harrison is going to talk to us about, of course, the presidency of Vice President Kamala Harris. The presidency, that's what I said, the presidency, because she's running for the president of the United States. And as it stands right now, the Democratic Party is the first party to put up a woman of color to be the commander-in-chief. Ladies and gentlemen, the chair of the Democratic National Committee, the one and only Jaime Harrison. First of all, Jaime, we thank you for being with us here in the great state of Texas. How are you today, Jaime?
Oh, I'm fantastic, and I've had a great time so far in Texas. Looking forward to campaigning a little bit with COLIN, ALLRED later on tonight, but I want folks in Texas to know that the eyes of the country are on what you do here as we move towards November 5th.
Amen, amen. And once again, Jaime, we just want to congratulate you, sir, on making history by, of course, being the first African-American man to chair the Democratic National Committee. And you're here in Texas.
Robert, yeah. Actually, I was the first African-American to chair the South Carolina Democratic Party, but the second to be the DNC chair. Ron Brown, who was right. The first DNC chair, black DNC chair under, he helped Bill Clinton win in 92.
Yes.
And I can follow in Ron's footsteps with the historic win that we get Kamala Harris over the line in 2024.
Beautiful, beautiful. And of course, we do remember Ron Brown, the great Commerce Secretary under Bill Clinton. And once again, you were the first black man to be the chair there in South Carolina of the Democratic Party. Well, once again, now, Jaime, you're here in Texas, and why don't you tell us why Texas is important to the Democratic National Committee?
Well, we are investing in all 50 states, our territories, and with Democrats abroad. But Texas is so important. One, you have one of the most competitive Senate races in the country right now, one of the closest races in the country. And COLIN, ALLRED is running one heck of a race and has the opportunity to send Ted Cruz home or Mar-a-Lago or even Cancun. I know he likes to go there. So we have the opportunity to do just that because it's time that Texas upgrades its leadership in Washington, D.C. It's time that you actually have some people who are actually going to fight for you and your family and your community. Ted Cruz goes to Washington, but he goes and hangs out at all the lobbyist cocktail parties And then when he goes to the U.S. Senate floor, he votes no on every single thing. He voted no on the infrastructure bill. He voted no on the American Rescue Plan, where we were able to get shots in people's arms and money back in people's pockets to cut childhood poverty in half. He voted no on the Inflation Reduction Act, which includes, money to bring down the cost of insulin at $35. Isn't it time for Texas to have somebody to actually go vote yes? Vote yes in terms of investing in the people. Yes in terms of investing in our kids. Yes in terms of investing in our infrastructure. Well, you have that in terms of the most bipartisan member of Congress, Colin ALLRED.
Yes.
Send Colin to Washington, D.C., and I can guarantee you, you'll have somebody you'll be proud of, but most importantly, you have somebody who's going to work for you and your family and your community.
Amen, amen, amen. Once again, we're talking here with Jaime Harrison, the chair of the National Democratic Committee. Once again, we're honored to have him with us. And once again, here in the great state of Texas. Now, a little bit more here about Colin ALLRED, Congressman Colin ALLRED, a Democrat. What will we have to do to get him across the finish line?
Well, listen, former First Lady Michelle Obama said this so clearly. It's time for all of us to do something. And not just what we've done in the past, but what we have always done, but we have to do a little more. We got to knock on more doors. We got to make a few more phone calls. We got to take a few more people to the polls. We have to do everything in our power. And why this election is important is because our fundamental freedoms are on the ballot. Right now, this is the first time in my lifetime that grandmothers and great-grandmothers have had more rights than their granddaughters and their daughters, right? Because women don't, in the state of Texas, don't have the right to control their own bodies. And we see it in 20-some other states. We see an erosion of voting rights in this country. We see these fundamental attacks on the social safety net, Medicare, Social Security. In Donald Trump's Project 2025 agenda, they want to eliminate the Department of Education. So what does that mean? You get rid of Head Start. It means you get rid of the protections for kids with disabilities. All of the things that many in our communities rely upon. This election is critical. It is so important, and you cannot sit this out. You can't give your power over to somebody else to make a decision about you and your family, your communities, when other people may not share your values. They may not share your priorities. That's why it's important to vote this election. Don't sit at home. Don't be silent.
Yes, yes, indeed. And Jaime, real quickly, before we go to Vice President Kamala Harris, now, we understand the DNC just last month invested 5 figures into the Texas Democratic Party. And why don't you talk to us about why now you made that investment now, and then we'll talk about Vice President Kamala Harris.
Well, so far this year, we have invested almost, I think, close to $500,000 to the ground operation here in Texas to make sure that we can get the vote out, to make sure that we are working with the Texas Democratic Party on a field operation. Because as you know, close elections require you to have boots on the ground. You can't just do TV ads and radio spots. You got to have all of the above, and you got to have people who can talk with people, connect with people. Yes. And so we wanted to do that type of investment to work with the Texas Democratic Party to make sure that we can win this very, very close election. And so that's why we're investing. We've invested for the first time in a long time. Every state we have given a GOTV grant to make sure that we can work to push it doesn't matter, to push the vote out. No matter whether you're red state, blue state, or purple state, we got Democrats competing, and so therefore we got to win these races.
Yes, indeed. And also, Jaime, real quickly, now early voting is underway here in Texas. And what is your message, Jaime, to the voters as to why they should vote for Vice President Kamala Harris?
Because Kamala Harris is fighting for all of us. Unlike Donald Trump, we've seen Donald Trump before. We know what he does. We know his focus is on billionaires, is on tax cuts for them. We even just recently heard that when we were all suffering under COVID, he was sending COVID tests and things to Vladimir Putin over in Russia. This is a guy who isn't fighting for us. This isn't a guy who really cares about the average person. He only cares about himself and his own power. When you're willing to risk the life of your own VP to hold on to power, says all that we need to say about who you are. But let's talk about Kamala Harris. She has rolled out policy after policy that is going to be a game changer about this, creating an opportunity economy. Just yesterday, she rolled out a policy about, there's so many of us who are raising our own kids, but also helping to take care of elderly parents and grandparents. And she wants to change the policy so that Medicare will cover home care coverage for senior citizens, so that they don't have to go into nursing homes, but can have a dignity and stay at home, but still get the medical services that they need. She has a plan to provide folks who will be first-time home buyers with a $25,000 down payment. That's big. It's huge. She has a plan to help those who want to start small businesses with a $50,000 tax credit to start your own small business. She has a plan to reinstate the child tax credit that cut childhood poverty in half, and to give to families with newborns $6,000, and to increase the earned income tax credit. So these are real things that will instantly improve the quality of lives of the American people. And this is what she wants to do. She has been going around this country listening to people and then turning the things that she has heard into policies that will improve their lives.
Yes. And Jamie, just one last quick point. Wayne, my colleague, had a question for you about small business. Wayne?
Okay. Hang on one second, Robert. Mr. Jamie, I've been a small business owner since I've been small, in so many ways. And it's a big concern because right now it's so many people that really don't know what direction this country is going in. There's a lot of people is very confused on the direction of this company, and we're feeling it as business people because people is not spending money. We have a radio station that people is not really going with commercials anymore because they just saying their budget can't cover a lot of those things, and I'm feeling the same thing. What do you say for that?
Well, I mean, some of that is on a local level, but I think as it relates to the federal level, I mean, this is why Kamala Harris is having these conversations. She just had a whole big roundtable with black men to talk about some of the barriers that they have to growing their business, right? Not only starting businesses, but growing those businesses as well, making sure that they know all of the ways to connect with federal funds and the federal resources so that they can continue to grow and be vendors. And these are the things that we need from folks in the federal government who actually see us, who talk to us about some of the issues and the barriers that they're having, and then offer up solutions to improve what we're doing so that not only that we can start them, but we can grow them. And that's fundamental. Again, Donald Trump isn't even having these conversations. This is a man who already has an established business, doesn't really care whether any other businesses start or grow or what have you. But I can tell you, Vice President Kamala Harris does care about that. Remember, it was under the Biden administration where we were actually able to get PPP loans, the Biden-Harris administration, to black-owned businesses and all. Because you remember when Donald Trump was giving it to the Lakers and all these big folks who don't need the money. But it wasn't until we got Democrats back in under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that we were able to get those needed resources to our small businesses, to our minority businesses, so that they could stay open, but not only stay open, but continue to grow.
Oh, yes. And Mr. COLIN ALLRED, I did work with him several years back on his first time he ran for office. If you ever run it by him, tell him GFN Radio. I cut an ad for him and all that back in the days. So I'll remind him of that when I see him later tonight. Yes, but we thank you, and we know this is
thank you all.
Very scary times right now, but you made me feel a little more comfortable. So keep doing your thing, and we here.
And thank you, Jamie.
And the last thing I would say to you all and your listeners, listen, go and vote. But if you run into any problems at the ballot box, if somebody tries to keep you from the ballot box, keep you from voting, text VOTE, VOTE, to 70888. I have lawyers on the radio across the country who are ready to help you with any issues that you may have. Or if you can't remember that, just go to IWillVote.com. There's a hotline there, phone number there that you can call. If your family or friends run into any issues, just go to text VOTE to 70888 or go to IWillVote.com. And we will make sure that you not only cast your ballot, but make sure that it gets counted.
Hey, Rob, see if we can get about 5 minutes one of these days with Miss Harris. We would like to have her on the network, and so she could tell our people what's on her mind.
Yeah, we'd love to have the vice president if possible. We'd love to have her, Jamie.
Okay, well, I'll pass it along to our campaign. But thank you guys again for all you do. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamie. Good luck, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Well, we certainly want to thank Jamie for his time. And once again, we continue to salute Jamie, being the first black man to ever chair the Democratic National Committee. And we certainly are honored to have had him with us here on GFN Soul NYC. Now, we continue to encourage you to make sure that you're going to register and vote. Well, I guess I should say turn out and vote, because all of the registration, everything like that, that's all over with now. It's time now to focus on November 5th and making sure that you turn out. Get your friends, get your family to turn out and vote. Now, of course, we've never told you who to vote for, because that's your choice. We respect our viewers and listeners here on GFN, Soul NYC FM. We respect you. And we know that some of you are Democrats. We know that some of you are Republicans. But either way it goes, let's make sure your voice will be heard. Well, once again, we want to thank you for being with us for another edition of the Robert Ashley Show right here on GFN, Soul NYC FM. And don't forget to check us out each and every night at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's the best in throwback music. It's, of course, hosted by our colleague Wayne G. And once again, subscribe to the channel, like our channel, and also share our content. Well, I'm Robert Ashley. We thank you for being with us, and may God bless you.